I once heard a chilling story from a friend who worked at a McDonald's late one night. As the clock struck midnight, the drive-through intercom crackled to life, even though the restaurant was closed. A faint voice ordered a Happy Meal in an eerie whisper. When my friend explained they were closed, the voice grew more insistent, repeating the order over and over. Suddenly, the restaurant lights flickered, and the toys in the children's play area started moving on their own. Panicked, my friend looked out the window and saw a shadowy figure standing at the drive-through window, still demanding a Happy Meal. The figure's face was obscured, and their voice was a haunting mix of desperation and anger. My friend, terrified, called the police, but by the time they arrived, the figure had disappeared. The police reviewed the security footage and found an unsettling sight. An empty drive-through lane with a ghostly, translucent hand reaching out to grab the bag from the counter. No one knew who or what was responsible for the eerie incident, but from that night on, employees claimed to hear whispers and see flickering lights whenever closing up the restaurant.
In a small town that could easily be mistaken for any other sleepy hamlet, nestled between vast stretches of farmland, there stood a lone McDonald's restaurant. Its yellow and red arches stretched toward the sky, an iconic symbol that seemed to beckon hungry patrons from near and far. But this McDonald's harbored a sinister secret, kept hidden from the unsuspecting customers who stepped inside. As a young teenager consumed by curiosity and an appetite for adventure, I couldn't resist the whispers that circulated in hushed tones throughout our town. Tales of eerie disappearances and unsettling experiences within the walls of that very fast food joint piqued my interest. Fueled by equal parts adrenaline and a desire to uncover the truth, I made the bold decision to venture into the heart of this unsettling McDonald's. On an autumn evening, shrouded in an eerie fog, I approached the restaurant's entrance. The familiar sight of golden arches stood before me, their once vibrant colors now dimmed, as if tainted by the shadows that engulfed them. Pushing past my uneasiness, I stepped inside. Immediately, something seemed amiss. The employees, their movements slow and mechanical, sported vacant expressions as they went about their duties. Their forced smiles failed to conceal an underlying sense of dread that clung to the air. Nonetheless, I found a seat and placed my order, despite a nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. Time dragged on as I waited for my food, and it was during this prolonged period of anticipation that I noticed a peculiar change in the atmosphere. The air grew stale, heavy with an inexplicable sense of foreboding. As my tray was finally presented to me, the once appetizing-looking burger resembled a desolate, forgotten relic resting beneath a dim glow of a flickering heat lamp. The fries, greasy and limp, crumpled under minimal pressure. Even the soda seemed to have lost its essence, leaving behind an unsettling taste. Unsettled but driven by hunger, I dared to take a bite. Almost instantly, a grotesque transformation occurred on my taste buds. The flavors twisted and contorted into something repulsive, leaving behind a revolting amalgamation of chemicals and decay. It was as though I had ingested the essence of the lost souls that had vanished within these very walls. A sense of panic overwhelmed me, and I scanned my surroundings, only to realize that I was no longer alone. Ghostly apparitions, their transparent figures devoid of warmth and life, encircled me. Their whispers, a collective symphony of agony and despair, pierced through the air, tearing at my sanity. I scrambled towards the exit, desperate to escape their haunting presence. But freedom was but a fleeting dream. The doors, like an impenetrable barrier, refused to yield, trapping me within the confines of this infernal McDonald's. The walls seemed to constrict, distorting like a macabre funhouse mirror, amplifying my fear and desperation tenfold. Time ceased to hold any significance as I wandered through a labyrinthine maze of dimly lit corridors and chambers, each more unsettling than the last. The vengeful spirits pursued me, their cold, ethereal fingers grazing my skin as I sprinted through this uncanny abode. The echoes of anguished sobs resonated through the air, their origin a testament to the shattered dreams and desolation entwined within these cursed walls. Just when all hope seemed lost, a faint glimmer of light filtered through the darkness. A door materialized before me, promising an escape from this waking nightmare. With every ounce of strength I could muster, I charged towards it. The malevolent spirits pursued me relentlessly, their presence a chilling reminder of the horrors that existed within. In one final, desperate surge of energy, I burst through the door and collapsed onto the pavement outside, leaving the haunting specters of that McDonald's behind. As I lay there, gasping for breath, I couldn't help but be haunted by the lingering memories of that nightmarish encounter. The once mundane symbol of fast food now held an air of unshakable dread, forever etched into my memory. To this very day, I cannot pass a McDonald's without a shiver running down my spine. The experience taught me that darkness can manifest even in the most ordinary of places, disguised beneath familiarity. And in the heart of an unassuming small town, an unspoken horror lurks, hiding behind the false facade of comforting golden arches. In a small town, there stood an abandoned McDonald's at the edge of the woods, rumored to have closed due to a series of mysterious incidents. On a rainy night, curiosity led my friends and me to venture inside. The dim light from our flashlights cast eerie shadows on the walls as we explored the decaying building. Inside, the air was heavy and cold, and the sound of dripping water created an unsettling atmosphere. We made our way to the back, where broken equipment and the stench of rotting food filled the air. Suddenly, a faint whisper reached our ears from behind the shattered counter. We turned our flashlights towards the source, revealing a pale figure in a tattered McDonald's uniform. Frozen in fear, we watched as the figure slowly emerged, its eyes hollow and lifeless. It stumbled towards us, emitting a haunting moan. Panic set in as we realized we were trapped, and the figure continued to approach. With desperate determination, we managed to break a boarded-up window and escape one by one. As we fled the haunted McDonald's, the rain outside felt like a blessing. The memory of that night haunted us, leaving us to wonder about the dark secrets that the abandoned building held and whether we had truly escaped its grasp. I remember one eerie night when I decided to grab a late-night bite at McDonald's. The restaurant was strangely empty, with only a flickering light above the counter. As I ordered, I noticed the cashier's hollow eyes and an odd silence that filled the air. While waiting for my food, I heard faint whispers coming from the kitchen. Curiosity got the better of me, and I cautiously walked over. To my shock, the kitchen staff seemed like lifeless mannequins, moving in slow, unnatural motions. A chill ran down my spine. As I returned to the counter, the cashier handed me my food with a cold, mechanical smile. But when I opened the bag, I found something unsettling, a blood-soaked napkin. I dropped the bag in horror, and as it hit the floor, the lights suddenly went out, plunging the restaurant into darkness. Panicking, I reached for my phone to use its flashlight, revealing a disturbing sight. The once empty restaurant was now filled with eerie figures standing in every corner, their faces contorted into twisted grins. I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. I stumbled back, knocking into a table and causing a tray to crash to the floor. The figures turned towards me in unison, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. I could barely move, paralyzed by fear. Suddenly, a door at the back of the restaurant burst open, and a shadowy figure emerged. It was the manager, or at least what was left of them. Their body was twisted and distorted, and they spoke in a chilling, distorted voice, welcoming me to their special McDonald's. Terrified, I sprinted towards the exit, not daring to look back. The once empty parking lot was now filled with the same eerie figures, silently watching me as I fled. I jumped into my car and sped away, heart pounding. To this day, I can't shake off the feeling that what I experienced wasn't just a simple visit to McDonald's. It was a nightmarish encounter with something beyond human comprehension, a place where the line between reality and horror blurred in the most unsettling way.
If you enjoy listening to scary horror content just like this, then hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you are updated on when I post a new video.